The snow fell softly over the streets of Chicago, Illinois, while thousands of homes glowed with Christmas lights and laughter. Yet behind one beautiful downtown apartment window, a marriage quietly died before midnight. Nathan thought he had everything under control. He believed one careless decision could stay hidden forever. But while he toasted champagne with another woman beneath a sparkling Christmas tree, his wife was packing 20 years of memories into cardboard boxes, leaving behind only silence, and a single envelope resting on the dining table. By sunrise, Nathan would discover that sometimes the greatest punishment isn't losing money or reputation, it's realizing you've lost the only person who ever truly loved you. Before we begin, if you believe kindness deserves another chance and that every choice has consequences, please like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that touch the heart. Nathan Collins had built a successful life. At 48, he owned a respected architectural firm in Chicago, drove luxury cars, and lived in a beautiful lakefront home with his wife, Rebecca. Friends admired them, neighbors envied them, and co-workers believed they had the perfect marriage. What no one saw was the growing distance between them. Success had filled Nathan's calendar but emptied his heart. Meetings replaced conversations. Business trips replaced family dinners. Every anniversary became another promise to celebrate later. Rebecca never demanded expensive gifts or lavish vacations. She only wanted the man she had married 20 years earlier, the man who once stayed awake all night helping her paint their first apartment because they couldn't afford professionals. Slowly, those memories became strangers. Several months before Christmas, Nathan met Victoria, a marketing consultant hired by his company. She was charming, ambitious, and made him feel admired again. What began as harmless lunches turned into secret dinners. Soon, Nathan convinced himself he deserved happiness, ignoring the guilt growing inside him. Every lie became easier than the truth. Rebecca noticed the late nights, the hidden phone calls, the unfamiliar cologne lingering on his jacket, but she never accused him. Instead, she quietly hoped the husband she loved would find his way home. Christmas had always been Rebecca's favorite holiday. Every December she transformed their home into something magical. Handmade ornaments collected over 2 decades decorated the tree. Cinnamon candles filled every room. Old Christmas records played while snow covered the city outside. She believed Christmas reminded people that love mattered more than pride. That year, she planned one final surprise. She reserved Nathan's favorite dinner, wrapped a leather journal he had admired months earlier, and placed inside it handwritten letters describing 20 years of their journey together. She hoped they could start over. Instead, Nathan texted only hours before Christmas Eve dinner, claiming an important client meeting had suddenly appeared. Rebecca simply replied, "I understand. Be safe." Nathan wasn't meeting a client. He spent the evening in a luxury hotel overlooking the Chicago skyline with Victoria. They laughed beneath expensive decorations, exchanged gifts, and watched fireworks burst above the frozen lake. For a few hours he convinced himself nothing else existed. Meanwhile, Rebecca sat alone beside the glowing Christmas tree, staring at the untouched dinner growing cold. She cried quietly, not because she was alone, but because deep inside she finally accepted the truth she had spent months refusing to believe. Around midnight, she walked upstairs, opened Nathan's office drawer, and found every confirmation she needed. Hotel receipts. Romantic cards. Photos. Receipts for jewelry she had never received. The evidence didn't shatter her heart because it was unexpected. It shattered her because it confirmed that hope had finally run out. Rebecca didn't scream. She didn't call friends. She didn't destroy his belongings. Instead, she calmly contacted her attorney, who had prepared the divorce documents weeks earlier at her request, though she had prayed never to use them. Before sunrise, movers quietly removed everything she owned. Family photographs disappeared from the walls. Her clothes left the closets. Even the Christmas ornaments she had collected since childhood were carefully packed away. She left Nathan exactly what he had chosen over her, a beautiful house filled with absolutely nothing. On the dining table rested two items: the divorce papers, and the leather journal she had intended to give him. Inside its first page she had written only one sentence. "The greatest gift I ever wanted was your presence, but you kept giving it to someone else." Nathan returned home shortly after 1 o'clock in the morning. At first he noticed only the darkness. Rebecca always left the Christmas lights glowing until dawn. He unlocked the front door and immediately felt something strange. The house echoed. No music. No smell of cinnamon. No laughter waiting to greet him. Room after room stood almost empty. His footsteps became slower. His breathing became heavier. When he reached the dining table and opened the envelope, the world seemed to stop moving. For several minutes he couldn't breathe. He called Rebecca once. No answer. Again. Voicemail. Again and again until sunrise. By morning he finally understood that some doors don't slam shut. They simply close forever without making a sound. The following weeks became the loneliest of Nathan's life. Victoria quickly realized he was emotionally broken and quietly ended their relationship. The excitement that had once attracted her disappeared when reality arrived. Nathan lost not only his marriage but also the illusion that his affair had offered happiness. He walked through his enormous home hearing only echoes. Every empty wall reminded him of Rebecca's smile. Every Christmas decoration box left behind reminded him what he had traded away. Work no longer distracted him. Employees noticed the confident businessman becoming silent. His partners handled meetings while Nathan stared through office windows watching snow melt into spring. Months later, he learned Rebecca had moved to a small coastal town in Maine. She had accepted a position managing a community library and volunteered at a shelter helping families rebuild their lives after difficult divorces. She wasn't hiding from the past. She was building a future without bitterness. Nathan wrote dozens of letters apologizing for everything he had done. He never asked her to return. He simply admitted every selfish decision he had made and accepted responsibility without excuses. Rebecca read every letter. She never answered. Instead, she quietly continued living a peaceful life she had almost forgotten was possible. Time changed Nathan in ways success never could. He sold the luxury home and donated much of his wealth to organizations supporting abandoned spouses and children. He attended counseling, repaired damaged friendships, and stopped pretending that achievements could replace integrity. People who knew him noticed genuine humility replacing arrogance. Nearly 3 years later, just before Christmas, Nathan visited the small library where Rebecca worked. He didn't arrive carrying flowers or expensive gifts. He carried only the worn leather journal she had left behind. Rebecca looked older, calmer, and happier than he remembered. Nathan handed her the journal without speaking. Every remaining page had been filled with handwritten reflections describing every lesson he had learned since losing her. Each page acknowledged another mistake, another regret, another promise to become a better human being regardless of whether forgiveness ever came. Rebecca accepted the journal. She thanked him for becoming the man she had once prayed he would become. But she gently explained that healing sometimes means refusing to reopen wounds that have finally closed. Nathan nodded. For the first time, he understood that forgiveness and reconciliation are not always the same gift. He walked away carrying sadness, but also peace. That Christmas Eve, Rebecca volunteered at the shelter, serving warm meals to families who had nowhere else to go. Nathan spent his evening doing the same at another community center across town. They were no longer husband and wife, yet both had learned the same truth. Love cannot survive where honesty dies. And sometimes losing the person who loved you most becomes the lesson that finally teaches you how to love others. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a heartfelt comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us what truly matters. Special request: before you leave, comment below with the words, "Loyalty is the greatest gift." We'd love to know how many people still believe true love is built on honesty and faithfulness. As Christmas lights once again illuminated the snowy streets of America, Nathan understood a truth that no amount of money could ever buy. Gifts fade. Decorations are packed away. Snow eventually melts. But every decision made in the dark eventually stands in the light. Rebecca didn't win because she left. Nathan didn't lose because he signed divorce papers. The real lesson was that love should never be taken for granted, because the people who quietly give us their whole hearts may one day quietly walk away forever. And when that happens, no apology can turn back the clock, but a changed heart can still become the beginning of a better life. That Christmas, neither of them got the holiday they had dreamed of, yet both discovered something even more valuable: the courage to choose truth, dignity, and compassion over bitterness, carrying those gifts into every Christmas that followed.